Okay. So first you'll see how do we connect to database from a simple main application. Where is so get connect. JDBC util. Okay, so here it is. I have both of these examples. Okay, so to connect with the database, it is very straightforward and simple. We just need to give two lines. The first one is class.forName com.mysql.jdbc.driver. This is a static syntax. Class.forName and followed by something inside the double quotes. So class.forName will actually load the class into the JVM. So in the JVM, there is a specific block where the classes have to be loaded. So this is going to load the class. So which class has to be loaded? That is what is given inside. And depending on which database you are connecting, you have to give this. For MySQL, this is the class name. And this is going to be there inside the Maven library. There will be a MySQL jar. Where it is. I think it is inside the Hibernate code. Once again, I'll see the pom.xml. MySQL. I didn't give anything here. Okay, so this will load the driver class, and next is getting the connection. Driver manager dot get connection, followed by this URL, which is again a static. Here you have to change only the host, port, username, schema name, username, and password. So can you ping me that username password which I gave you?
You gave it on
the database.
You gave it on Zoom or
Yeah.
WhatsApp.
Zoom. I guess Zoom once again. Did I
Okay, I have it.
WhatsApp?
Yeah, it's on WhatsApp.
Okay. Yeah, I got it.
The username.
So this is the username and this is the password. So I give inside this, I have a method get connection inside the JDBC util. So in the main program, I will create a JDBC main program. Okay, we go JDBC util the util object equal to new JDBC util. Now util object dot get connection. So this is going to return a connection object. Java.sql.connection connection obj equal to util.get connection.
JDBC util is a syntax as well? Or...
No. That's a class I created.
Oh, okay.
This alone is a syntax. Class.forName and driver manager.get connection. Driver manager is a syntax. It's a class inside the Java.
We have to declare. We have to declare that inside the method connection get connection.
Yeah, wherever for testing purpose I showed here, but wherever you want to get the connection, you have to first give this. This will load the jar first, and then driver manager or get connection. You have to pass the attributes of the database. You will get a connection object back.
Oh, okay.
So this will load the jar, and you pass the attribute. This class will give you a connection as a return. So
the object is holding the connection.
Correct. So connection object, when I try to print that connection, let me see. Run that. Okay, so com dot is the new driver class is com dot mysql dot. Okay, so I'll copy this. I'll leave it here, not an issue. I'll try to rerun. Okay, access denied for user.
You're creating.
What?
Are you creating like two objects here, like connection object and util object?
Util object I'm not using. You can delete it. I'm not I am retrieving the connection object which is returned by the util.
Okay.
I'm holding it. Okay, access denied. Why? MySQL. Okay, the database name schema username is HS. Username is HSLQ. Okay. Okay, I got it. I got the connection object. So using the connection object, I can.
What was wrong?
The username was wrong. I gave the password as a username.
Oh, okay.
The username is actually HSL. That's what you also, okay, you ping the password, right? The username is HSL, right? That's what you have it.
Yeah.
I pinged you back. Okay. So now using this connection object, I can write the queries. For example, I have this select query here. I'll take a basic query. Okay, I don't have a basic query. Okay, I have this method which is written in the JDBC util. Fetch values using prepared statement. I have this query: select star from user, left join, address, on, user ID in the user table, user ID in the foreign table. A is an alias name, a short name which I can use. And I have a condition where u.username equal to the input value and address is the input value. I'll delete this for now. Okay. So the username and address are set here. Okay, so this is a query. I'll come back on what is prepared statement shortly. Just for now, ignore this. I have this query here. It is in string buffer format. Using the connection object, I create a prepared statement and then I execute the query. I get a result. I iterate the result. One second. So I iterate the result, and from the result, I get these values and I try to print. First, I will call this and see. So I have to call JDBC util dot fetch, and I have to pass the connection object. So I just got the connection object, I'm passing it. When I run, result set. I get the result set, but it is not printing. Sunday address one. We'll see if do we have a record like that. So when I take this query, select star from, and I go to database. Submit. Okay, now I go to SQL. I copy that query. So I have this query. So select star from user. The alias name is u. Left join, meaning user has to be fetched no matter if there is a record in address or not. The user has to be fetched, and alias address on is nothing but the join condition. U.user ID equal to A.user ID, and where U.username equal to, I've given here Sunday. So let's give here the question mark
means like, is it
the
like left?
input values.
Oh, okay.
The input values are set like this: prepared statement dot set string. The first question mark will be replaced as Sunday. The second question mark will be replaced as address. When you want to do some search criteria, search filter based on what user is typing, we go for prepared statement. Okay, there is no record with this. Okay, meaning in that case, I will remove the where condition and just execute this. Okay, we have these many records. Now, what is wrong? Username
Address
Sunday.
ID wasn't 1.
We have Sunday.
There's
What's
only
that?
address ID equals 1. I
Address
don't think we
1.
have address ID equals 2.
Yeah, we don't have address 1. We don't have address field. We don't have an address 1 value, I guess. Oh, there it is. But the username is RS7. So what I'll do, I'll remove this criteria from here and I will comment out this one. Now this should bring a record. Yeah. So when I give use.username equal to Sunday, from the table, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 Sundays. So the 4 records has been brought here. And in the here I have given star. So it's going to bring all the records, all the columns from user and address. Of these columns, I am using get string of 1, 2, 3, 4. So what is 1? This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is the query which is running. From here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 I am taking. So I'm sorry, it starts from 1 only. In the list only it starts from 0. So it starts from 1, which is user ID, 2 is username, 3 is active, 4 is address ID, 5 is the address, 6 is the foreign key. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So what you have to understand here, the first thing is how do we get connection? The basics, even if you use Hibernate or not, the basic is class.forName. You have to always remember using class.forName, you load the driver. Then driver manager.get connection. That's all. These 2 lines you'll get in internet. Just you should know, like I have to load the, if it is MySQL, load the MySQL driver class. Oracle, change this to Oracle driver class. So where will you find? You have to find in the documentation. What is the driver class name? You have to search and replace it here. That's all. So whatever DB you're going to connect, replace the driver class with the respective driver class from the documentation. So using this and this one, we'll get a connection object. Second, how do we fetch to a table? We have a query. This is a simple query which selects star from the table 1 alias, second table alias, left join on the column and where username. So if we are going to go with where and question mark, we have to go for a prepared statement. So prepared statement is something where we'll use when we want to do a filter or a search based on a user entered value. In a search box, the user has entered like TV. You have to take that string TV and pass it to the backend and do a search and append it to the item name. So it will list all the TVs. That's where we are using it. So we have a prepared statement, and prepared statement is created using connection dot prepared statement, and we set the input value. Here I have hard coded as Sunday. So the first question mark Sunday will be replaced. So the query will be complete now. If I don't give this, the query will be with question mark. MySQL will not know what is a question mark. It will throw error that you have not filled the value. See, no value specified for the parameter 1. So how much question marks we are giving, those many values has to be supplied here. If I give 1 question mark and I give 2 values, it will be like too many values supplied. You have only 1 question mark, but you are supplying 2 values. A parameter out of range. So 2, which is input parameter, it is greater than the number of parameter, which is 1. 1 is the question mark, 2 is the value we have supplied. So we have to use prepared statement if we want to filter out based on the user criteria. Otherwise, we can just have a statement. This can be replaced with statement, which is the basic Okay, that when we give statement, we will not give like this. Okay, got this?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is good.
And then you
Now,
execute query.
execute query is, this is the line which is going to send to the database. So far, we are just forming. This will not send. This we are just setting it in the query. When we call execute query, the control will go to the database and we will get the result. We will get the result, whatever we saw here. From this result, we iterate this while loop. Using the while loop, we iterate and we take every value and we assign to a string, and I'm just printing it. So same way, I have another. So yeah, this is the statement I was telling you, like the older version, not the older version, the basic version. Like start from user, left join address on without any criteria. Means we don't have any where condition, a filter condition. So this need not have a prepared statement. I just use a statement equal to connection.create statement, connection.execute query, the input query. The output is same. We have to iterate and get the result. It is
So
same.
what is Hibernate in this?
No. This is
Exactly.
this has no link with Hibernate. This is like the servlet which we studied. The basic, what to say, the fundamental of connecting to a database. It has no link with Hibernate or JPA.
Okay.
We are studying the basics now. So we use statement or prepared statement. So how do we update a record? The same way, we have a prepared statement. First, we have to form the query in the string buffer. Update query, update address set address equal to where address equal to. So how do we get this query? Let's say I go here, I edit this record. Yeah, so I have this user ID 3 and it is Tuesday. I am changing as updated. When I go, I'll get the query here. Update table set column equal to value where table dot column equal to. So using the primary key, this is a primary key. So using the primary key, we update this value. That's what I've given here. Update table set value equal to where primary key equal to something. Okay. That's, the other things are same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any question?
No.
Okay, the rest of the things are same. We have the prepared statement. We have the question mark here. So we give the 1 and 2, the parameters. This is going to throw an error. No, this won't. We have 2 question mark. We have 2 question mark and we have 2 values set. And there is something called as add batch. This will be useful when you want to update multiple records. Let's say 1,000, 2,000 records at a single time. One way of doing is writing 1,000 queries in a for loop. So in a for loop, if you give this, there will be one update query, execute update. In the for loops, again query, execute update. So this means 1,000 times this query will be run. Instead of that, prepared statement provides an option to add it to a batch. So inside the for loop, if we give this and we give add batch, it is going to add it to a batch. And finally, at single shot, we can go like execute update and all the 1,000, whatever, it can go up to 4,000 or 5,000 queries per batch. So everything will be updated in a single shot. This will be useful. Most of the times this will be useful because in real world scenario, usually we get an Excel file. We get an Excel file and we want to update the records based on the updated value in the Excel. So Excel will obviously contain like at least like 5,000 to 10,000 lines. So that case, doing an update for each of the row in the Excel to the database is something very time consuming. So we write a prepared statement and we write it to a batch and we just execute the batch. Okay.
Okay.
So these are all good. Okay. So this is about connecting to a database from a plain Java program, a main program. Now let's see how do we do the same with Hibernate. So I said that in the Spring framework, we have the controller service DAO, and there is a overlapping layer between the DAO to the database. So that overlapping layer is called the Hibernate util. It can be of any name, but usually we follow a standard name. Hibernate util will be something commonly followed across many organizations, but it can be anything. So what happens? Hibernate, I'll draw a diagram. Okay. So there is a DB here, and there is a DAO layer here. This is a DAO layer, and this is a DB. In between, there is an overlapping layer. So we'll expand that overlapping layer alone now and see. So here,
which is a Hibernate layer, right?
Correct. So this is going to have a session factory. This can be Hibernate or JPA, just different providers. So we have a session factory, meaning a factory where all the connections are kept. When the Hibernate starts, we can specify how many connections we want, and those many connections will be fetched at a single time. Mostly we'll give 10 to 20. So those many connections will be available. This is a session factory. And when the DAO layer calls something to hit the database, connection from one of these will be given. And after using, the connection will be still holded with the session factory. It will not be released. So that is called as connection pooling. So same like how we wrote a method for JDBC, I have a method for get session factory. So this is a syntax configuration. So properties, new property, these are all configuration. We have to give the driver class name, the driver class URL. We gave this in this one. Here we gave the same thing, driver class name. You have to go here. I'll not change it now. Let me run and see what error I'm getting. And then the URL, IP port schema we have here also. URL, IP port and schema, followed by username and password. This is the username. This is the password. So show SQL true. Show SQL true means the Hibernate will generate automatic queries. Here we wrote the query, right? Update query, select query. But when you use Hibernate, you need not know this query. Hibernate will generate this query for you. I'll show you how. And you can see the query. When you give show SQL true, it is going to show you the queries. And here the important thing is you have to add the classes. So when we use Hibernate, the fundamental of Hibernate is one second.
Okay.
Okay. So this is something very important. So just let me know if you don't understand something. The way Hibernate works is, I said that you need not know any query. You need not know to write query. So how Hibernate works is, for every table here, there is a table in database. The Java developer will have an POJO, an equivalent POJO for every single table. So user table means there will be a user POJO. Address table, there will be an address POJO. So in our case, we had 3 to 4 table: user, address, language, payment, address, zip, and invoice. So the first thing we should know is there should be an equivalent Java POJO. So if we see in the domain, user, address, and address zip. Just for example, I've taken 3 tables. So user table, address, and address table. So as a Java developer, we should know only the POJO, because we will be interacting only with this object, and Hibernate will take care of propagating these changes to the table. So we have an annotation entity. This makes that this object is a persistence class. Persistence means this would be saved in the database. That's what this means. So again, at table, so which table, this class represents which table, and ID, it is an auto-generated ID, and identity is a unique value. Column, so which column you have to map. So you have studied about the getters and setters. We have attributes, we have getters and setters in a POJO. That getter and setter we are mapping to a column, that's all. You already know private user ID. And you
Did
have
you do it just manually, like add ID, add column, add one to many, like all
this
this?
will
Like,
be,
did you do it
this is a manual configuration, one-time configuration during start of the project. There
Okay,
are
so
also
you wrote
tools
it.
available. You can auto-generate this also. There are tools. If if you install the tool, and the tool will ask for the database, you have to point your database, give the credential. For every table, the tool is going to automatically generate a POJO. That's also there. You can just verify. So every attribute will have an at column and which column you are going to map. So this is a table. Again, this is a table, and I'll come back to one-to-many later. So basically, this is the configuration. So here in the util, you have to add at annotated class and the class. So what are these are the classes that will be available for Hibernate. Okay, so once you give the credentials and we give the annotated class, that's all. Our work is done in the session factory. Now, to fetch a data, I'll show you here. Yes. So this is a main program. Session factory if equal to util.get session factory. This is same like connection object, which we got to retrieve the connection from the JDBC util. So using the session factory now, here I have a DAO file. In the DAO file, I have written a method load user. So I'll go to the implementation. There is a method load user. So I'm passing session factory. This is same like JDBC util. Now see here, there is no query. One line will load it, the table. This is what is important, you should know. Session dot load is an inbuilt method. Session has lots of methods. Begin transaction, create criteria. There are lots of, tons of methods are there. Load has many things, fetch, delete, merge. There are a lot of methods, inbuilt methods. I just use the load and I give the class name and what I want to load. I want to load the record with the primary key 1. I have one more method, find user. Here I get an input session factory. Using the session factory, I get a session and I use find method. These are all inbuilt methods. This is the only line a Java developer will write. Now, if I run this, you will see the query for this. We don't write a select query. The Hibernate will write a select query. And previously, what we did, we created a prepared statement. We gave a question mark. We set the value, and then we ran an execute query. And then using the result, we took the values and then we gave a sysout, right?
Yeah.
That complete line, that full set of method is gone and it is only one line now. When you give
But in
session,
this, we are not giving any conditions, right?
This is a condition. This will be mapped with the primary key. This is same like where user ID equal to question mark. Here, see here. Not here. Here it is right. Username equal to question mark. And we had one more also. Same, this is the same. We have a question mark here. Instead of question mark, we give the attribute here. I'll show one more thing. I think I have a criteria. Yeah, here it is. I have a criteria. I'll show you. So we pass the condition here where the primary key has to be linked and then the value will be fetched. I'll first run and show this. Main program. There is main program. Yeah. So load user 1, find user. Okay. So right click, run as Java application. See here, select query. Hibernate generated the query. Select, this is, there also it added, see here. That's why people go for JPA or Hibernate, because those are smart enough. See, the entire query is ready. This is the query that's Hibernate is executing, and we have a where condition here. And one will be added here automatically. So the complete boilerplate code, whatever code we did earlier, right? Prepared statement, creating a prepared statement, string buffer using a query, and setting into the question mark, execute query, while result set, iterating, fetching that value. That complete 10 to 15 line of coding is gone, and it is just one line of coding. That 10 to 15 line will be there, but will be inside the Hibernate. That is why I first taught you that.
Right.
Clear? That cannot go away, because as I keep saying, right, the fundamentals will never be gone. It can be reduced from the user's view, but it can never be gone. Like, people can make things look easier, but not easier. The effort and whatever it needs will definitely be there, and it has to be there. It will just be taken out from the user's load, so that the user need not do those things. So now the Hibernate does this query, and we get an object. There is a reason I commented out this, and I wanted to show this. The same method I have, if you noted, the same method I have given twice. Load user and find user. There is a reason. These are special methods in the Hibernate. I'll run this again. See if you can find out the difference. I call the load user. What it is doing, same. Session factory, open session, session dot load, same. Find user, same. Session dot find, that's all. But in terms of execution, see if you can find out the difference. First, load will be called, 1 will be printed. Then find will be called, 2 will be printed. Can you notice something strange?
One.
The sysout 1 is printed, then sysout 2 is printed.
It's writing the query in the console.
Yeah, it is printing the query. Because we gave show SQL is true. Anything else? Okay, I'll tell you. See that the query is printed only once.
Right.
For the first method, the query was not printed. Before 1, we are calling load user.
Yeah.
That time, the control went inside, it came back and it printed 1, but query was not there. Before 2, we are calling the find user. Now the query is printed.
Can it only perform one query at a time? Something?
No. Okay. Now I'll uncomment this. Now you see if you can find out. First, okay. Now I have uncommented 2 lines, 2 systems more. Now let's see. See there? The same. We didn't change anything. I just added a sysout.
Yeah.
Right? I added a sysout and the query got printed. I'll comment the sysout. The sysout has nothing to do with the query. But if I comment out sysout, the query will not be printed. The query is not, no, I have to comment out this. Okay. I have to comment out this. This one I can leave it. This is the second object. The first object, if I comment out, the query will not be run. This is a beautiful feature from Hibernate. So what's, see here, it's not running. So you might wonder like why the sysout is causing, meaning Hibernate has 2 functions inside the DAO, find and load. Okay, so the load method does not run the query unless user tries to access an result, access the result from the query. Second, my kid is
No, you're fine.
Okay, so Hibernate does not run the query or does not hit the does not run the query unless the user tries to access the result. That is why here when I try to retrieve an object, retrieve a value from the result, this result is the result from the load. When I try to retrieve the result, immediately it detects that, okay, someone is trying to access the result. I don't have the result. Let me go grab the result and then show it to him. That's what is happening. This is used many places and will help in lots of performance improvement. Because
So
many
load,
times, yeah.
With load, the query will be shown in the console.
No, when we access the load user, the object will not be fetched from the database.
Okay.
A proxy will be fetched. The real object will not be fetched.
Okay.
But when we call the find user, the real object will be fetched.
Okay.
There is a special advantage of this. So in the real-time projects, when we use, there will be scenarios where we want to fetch objects, but the query should not run. Meaning the performance should not be affected. Actually, there will be some scenario where we will not access any attribute from the object, but we want the object. Okay. That case, it is just a waste if you try to call find user, because you are not at all going to use the object. So why to run the query? Just use load user. Anyway, load user.
Okay. So find user will load the query and run it and then give the object, but load will only give the object.
Yes. Load will just give the proxy of the object. The real object with the data will not be there. Okay. So, So now if you see, I am just calling the object. I'm just calling the function here using the class, and the corresponding table is getting loaded for me. See, the value from the table is printed Sunday. So Java developers need not know how to run, how to write queries. So you asked me about criteria. So I have a criteria example. Here it is. So this is a criteria example. Public void query with criteria. Okay. So to write a criteria, there is a criteria class provided by Hibernate using the session object. Okay, so using the session object, there is a method create criteria and we call the class. Then these are the syntax. We call like criteria.add, restrictions.like, username, ND, match mode anywhere. It might sound confusing, but the meaning of this particular line 178 is the equivalent is where username equal to percentage ND percentage.
It should include the words letters ND.
Yes, it should include the word ND. It can be anywhere.
Okay.
Starting or ending, middle also. So match mode anywhere is where how should it match? So these are the value: end, exact, start. If I go start, then any word beginning with the ND will come. If I go end, any word beginning with the ND, ending with the ND will come. Exact, only the words in the username which has ND will come. Anywhere, if the ND is present anywhere in the username, it will come. And this is the column. So where column. Okay. Projections are for getting the total row count. So these are like high concepts. You'll get access to it from the net also, not an issue. This is for pagination. Like this class again has, if you go to documentation, this class has tons of features which should be useful depending on your project criteria. So for now, what should you be knowing is how do we configure JDBC? To configure JDBC, we have the, just to summarize, the class.forName and driver manager.get connection, we get the connection object. Using the connection object, we either we create a statement, connection.create statement, and we pass the query, we execute the query, we get the result, we iterate, and then we return. Or we create a prepared statement, set the values in the question mark, and then iterate and send it out. This is the traditional way of accessing. Instead of that, to configure Hibernate, we will have to pass the parameters into the configuration class, Hibernate's configuration class. The configuration class expects a properties. In the property, we put all these driver class, URL, password, show SQL. This is, you can make it false when we move to production so that the query will not be printed. And then we add all the POJOs equivalent of the database. So to create POJOs, we either use tool or we go here, we give the annotations. You will get all these syntax from the net. The thing you should know is a table will be represented as a Java program. That is what is the key thing in Hibernate. You will not interact with table. You will interact with this particular class. When you do something with this class, it means you are changing something in the table. So if you update a value, if you set a new value in the username and you hit, you call this one, hibernate.save. I showed you fetch, right? So load and find we saw. Yeah, in find fetch address, save, where is save? Yeah, in save, when, okay, save tomorrow we'll go, not to confuse more. But just remember when we interact with the object, we interact with the table. Just like here, we gave a value and it is automatically taking with the primary key, because find takes the argument of the primary key here. We are not specifying anywhere. So the Hibernate POJO is equivalent of a table, and you forget about the table. We only interact with the POJOs. And this code I showed in the DAO. So it is same code which will be there in the Spring Boot. So any questions so far?
It's
Right.
just a lot.
Tomorrow we will see once again. Tomorrow we will go into the save part. So maybe tomorrow you will get some clarity on what we spoke today. So tomorrow we will see how do we save, and I will run and show you this criteria also. So from the input, if something is given, how do we pass it here? So if I want to, let's say the user table is there, and we have the username. Okay, we don't have any other. Let us take the address table. So address table is there. We have address ID, the address string. So if I want to create a criteria of address, so I will give here P002 address, and here I will give criteria.add. In the criteria, add this what restriction like address. I should give the Java only, the Java attribute. This has to be incoming address name. This can be a string. So from the input, when a value is passed, I can map it here, match mode anywhere. So what will happen? This is equal to select star from address. Select star from address, where address equal to question mark. The question mark will be replaced with this incoming address, and it is anywhere. So before and after, a percentage will be added. Wildcard.
Okay.
if I give starts, it will be like this. Start. It should start with question mark. Question mark means this value, and after that we can have any value. If it is exact, it should be like this only. So I can add more criteria. I can add like criteria obj dot add, again restriction dot, restrictions has so many methods. I can use anything, in, empty, null, the. So again, you'll know this once you start using it. So I'll give equals, restrictions dot equal. What else has address table has address, that's all. This is address ID. For IDs we will not give, for string we will give like equal. So any like address, location, if there is another attribute like this, we will give like incoming value. Match mode can be ignored also, because it is equal, it will automatically take the equal. So this case, the query will become where username equal to something and address location equal to something. You understand this?
Yeah.
So this is how the criteria. We'll see again on this one tomorrow. We'll see how to write this.
Okay.
So for today, just two things: find and load. So we saw that the table has to be having a equivalent POJO, which is a Java. The Java should have the annotation properly, and that has to be added here. Only then Hibernate will know that there is this class has to be mapped with the table. Once this is done, we don't touch the table. We speak with this class. Save or fetch, load, whatever you do with this object, that's what we are doing here. We where it is, DAO. So fetch user, this is an object, right? We create criteria for a class. We not fetch user, right? We didn't go to fetch user. We gave load user, yeah. So we load the class with the primary key, and the corresponding object comes out. This is an object. Object of this class comes out. So this one line of equal to, right? This is equal to while loop we saw, while the result dot get string of 1, get string of 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
That entire section is now taken out. This entire block, Hibernate makes it so easy that this one single line, it is equal to the object. That's all. So complete boilerplate code is removed. Okay. Tomorrow you can try out. Let's see. So you can, from your main program, try to configure this Hibernate, and then you can try like hitting the methods and fetching the data. So by this you'll get an hands-on. Okay. This is a crucial part. So let's spend like 2 to 3 days, and let's ensure like you have a hands-on. And this is available in the video. So if you get some time, you can go through that as well. I explained in detail in that. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. So we'll talk to you tomorrow then.